Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. And for today's episode, we have a special guest with us. She's a TV host, also a social media and influencer, and a podcaster. She has over 150,000 followers on her Facebook page. Please help me welcome Miss Cara Eriguel.
Hi! Hey Alex, hi
Hi.
everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you.
Yes, it's nice finally being able to see you kasi when
I
we
know.
met, audio only yun.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's I love your setup and you're so pretty. Iba-iba
Thank
talaga
you.
no when you see the person you're talking
Oo
to,
nga.
iba yung energy.
Oo nga, iba talaga yung vibe.
Mhm.
Okay din naman yung audio only kasi mas chill.
Oo
You don't have to
naman.
do your makeup. Parang naka-pajamas lang ako.
Yeah,
Sa
yeah, exactly.
Calamansi app. But it's still good to be able to, it's still better for me at least, if especially I'm interviewing someone, to be able to actually see them. Mas
Yes,
I
I agree.
prefer it more. So, I saw na you're a TV host kasi after you interviewed me on the Calamansi app, it's tinok kita.
Same, stinok din kita. Nag-stalkan tayo.
Nag-stalkan tayo. So, I was like, oh, she's a TV host and now podcaster. So, how did you start with your media career? Kasi it's a career na hindi siya masyadong common, diba? Because usually we either work at a company or become professionals, like an engineer or a nurse. So hindi masyadong common yung career path mo, and then now you're also a podcaster. So how did you start all that?
Oof, that's a long story. How do I make it
What was
as concise as possible?
your first job out of college?
My first job during college, actually. Because I started siguro mga third year college, I started because I went to UP. So medyo mababa yung ano, diba? And then I had a thing with my mom. I was like, I'm gonna pay for my own tuition, blah, blah, blah. So I started, my first job was actually hosting in the UP campus for mga frat events, sometimes mga gigs along Katipunan. There's a little cafe called the Magnet Cafe. Uso yung mga gig, banda before. So that's when I actually started making a little bit of money. And I realized, ay, pwede palang pagkakitaan tong pa-hosting, ganyan.
So you started
Noong
in
beer lang yung
college.
bayad. Yeah,
During
college.
Okay.
During college, my first TF was like 1,500 pesos for like a 3-hour event, ganyan. And then I auditioned, I started auditioning for things during that time then, mga third year college. I was still studying. The first thing I auditioned for was TV5. It was to be a parang VJ for them. They were fairly new. They were making the transition from ABC to TV5 at the time, I think. That was my first ever hosting gig. And then doon na siya tumuloy-tuloy. I would audition for things and then people would get me for their events. Very little payment, but I was like really enjoying the job.
Yeah.
And then it just grew from there. And then I auditioned for things on TV. And then eventually, the best there is to do your job really well. And then yung mare-refer ka ng events company or kukunin ka nila ulit. So doon na siya nag-grow and nag-build. I guess. But I think the major thing to note is that ever since college, I knew in my head and in my heart that I would never do a 9 to 5. This is something I fought with my mother for so long.
Why? Because she wanted you to do a 9 to 5? Or
Yeah,
was there a
well,
specific company that she wanted you to work for, or she just felt that it would be safer to go that route?
Exactly. I guess every parent's dream naman for their kids, diba? Which is why usually marinig mo, mag-nurse ka, o mag-doktor ka, mag-lawyer ka, ganyan, diba? I guess for your children to be secure. And in their heads, diba, the idea of security is to have, a steady job that gives you all these, that comes with all these benefits. Exactly. Pag freelancer ka, ala ka namang benefits, diba?
Oo.
Tapos, diba, ano pa siya?
Walang regular pay. Na hindi siya
Mismo.
on the 15th and 30th. Actually, same tayo because my mom also, she wanted me to become a nurse because I'm actually a nurse. And instead of going abroad to practice being a nurse, I became a real estate broker because I realized early on na I don't think I would be happy being a nurse. So, may ganun din. Like, parang we had a conflict dun sa career choice ko.
Di ba
So,
ngayon
same.
naman? It's like we laugh about it now, di ba? Years later, who would have known, right?
Yeah.
But years later, it's like, see, mom, iba rin kasi, I guess, yung thinking ng generation nila. in
Yeah,
a lot of ways, and
they
also
grew up differently than
very
our
differently.
generation.
Yeah, they had a very different idea of, I guess, security, 'di ba? Hindi uso sa kanila masyado yung follow your passions or whatever. You just have to be
Yes, oo.
secure. Yun
Yeah.
yung number one sa
Also din
kanila.
the opportunities kasi that we have now, they didn't have before kasi they didn't have the
Right.
internet. So that's why also they find it hard to understand the
Mm-hmm.
path that we've chosen. Because
Yeah,
different then, yeah, the time is different, the opportunities are different.
exactly. And it just, I guess, keeps evolving, which is why we're doing what we are doing now. Podcasting is the number one thing.
Yeah,
Maybe,
when did you
'di
start your podcast? It's above beyond 30?
after
Yung
30.
after 30. Oh, after 30. So when did you start your podcast?
After 30.
After
as soon
30.
as I
That
as
hence
soon
the
as I
name.
turned 30. Yeah, exactly. I started it a month after I left radio. I left radio in 2018. I was with radio for three and a half years. I missed it so much, and I just wanted to keep this whole thing going, talking, interviewing people, which is something that I really enjoyed. It was initially a passion project for me. I never thought I could make money out of it, and I could commit to it as much as I'm committed to it now. But yeah, I started it early 2018, and I just did it because I wanted to deal with me being 30. Yun lang,
Okay.
parang, tanggapin na natin to. Kasi sa career path that I've chosen, age is, at the time, I had still felt, that age is a huge thing, that I needed to keep lying about my age so that I'm always relevant, so that I'll always get more jobs. Diba? Parang the younger you are, the more, I guess, mabenta you are. In my head,
With
and I
hosting?
guess
With hosting?
with hosting, with TV and other projects, 'di ba? Ganyan. But, as soon as I hit 30, I was like, you know what? This is me telling the world I'm 30. I love it. I'm
And it's
embracing it,
okay.
'di
I'm 30
ba?
and it's okay.
And it's marvelous. Yeah, it's not just
It's
okay.
awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different din kasi because when you're 30, like the things that you were so concerned about when you were 20, parang hindi na siya as big deal. And like when I turned 30, I came to really accept myself and all my flaws. Kasi when you're a teen or when you're in your early 20s, parang you're so, like insecure about the flaws that you have. Like you want to be taller or you want to be more skinny. But pag 30 kayo, okay lang naman pala ako. Parang ganyan.
Yeah, well, yes, definitely. Physically and also emotionally, diba, psychologically, all these things that you were still trying to figure out and very insecure about in your 20s. Parang suddenly, I don't know if it's just, maybe we've just convinced ourselves enough, but parang at 30, it was just like, I don't give an F. Like, this is me. Take me for what I am. Parang biglang naging, I have no energy. Literally, inaantok na ako ng 9 p.m. Okay, wala akong energy maging insecure.
Like we don't have the time na to like worry
Yeah.
about those stuff now, and that we used to be so worried about when we were in our 20s. And also with
Yeah.
we're more self-aware now that like we've turned not only siguro sa 30, maybe like later 20s na, parang going into our 30s na we're more aware of our skills and our strengths. And like personally ako, I've chosen to focus on the things that I know na I can really be good at versus
Yes.
okay, I'm not good at these things, I'm just gonna delegate it or find a partner who can. Kasi importante din yung other things, even though I'm not good at, like for example, admin stuff. So I'm not good at those, so I can hire someone or find a partner who can also do these things that are also important. But I don't have to do all those things myself.
That's a very wonderful thing that you said, no? Self-awareness. And yun nga, if you being self-aware enough to kind of step back and realize, okay, these are my strengths. These are not necessarily my weaknesses, but things that I'm not that strong in,
Yes.
'di ba? And then that's, ang laking bagay nun for you to be able to accept that in yourself. Kasi mas maraming sa atin, hindi, kaya ko to, hindi, kakayanin ko to, ganyan.
I can do everything.
Right? And that's not true, guys. It's wonderful if it is true for you, but I'm just saying, nakakapagod yung ganong life, di ba?
Yeah, no, I really believe in being able to recognize what your core strengths are, because it's just really one or two things. And then the rest, delegate na. So yung, for me, I choose to do what I love to do like 80% of the time. And those are the things that I know I'm good at. Kasi magiging happy ka pag magaling ka naman sa mga bagay na yun, di ba? So parang it
Yeah.
follows. Like, if you enjoy what you're doing, you will be good at it. So parang ano siya, they go together.
Exactly. And it's like, parang ano lang yan eh, di ba? The same concept in the sense of fulfillment, ba? When you write down goals, you have your long-term goals and you also have your short-term
Yes.
goals that are realistic and achievable. And once you check, I write it something as small as journal, make coffee, di ba? I make this whole checklist in the morning. And then I see all these checks. And then I feel fulfilled. Kasi, di ba, in my heart, I'm like, oh, nagawa ko siya. Nagawa ko lahat ng plinano ko today. Ganun din, di ba? Something that fulfills you, something that you know you can achieve and be good at, then you grow and you, I guess, just keep getting better at it. There's nothing wrong with also trying out other things along the way. Lalo na ngayon in our 30s, and there's so much we can do with the internet and, di ba, like this, what we're doing now, podcasting. So, ang dami ring opportunities to grow.
You can do a lot of things while at home.
Yes. Agree.
Which I love. So kahit na it's the pandemic, actually, I was able to really get serious with my vlog just last year with the pandemic, because of the pandemic. Because I suddenly had more time, suddenly I couldn't go and bring clients to the site, online na lahat. So, yun yung silver lining, I guess, that happened na sineryoso ko yung vlog ko, and then I started doing the home show. It also started last year, so it's a real estate show focused on the developments and real estate news here in Cagayan de Oro and surrounding area. So a lot of good things still happened kahit na hindi masyado, meron ding negative effects yung pandemic. What about you? Anong effect sa'yo with your gigs? Did you have shows that got canceled? Diba maraming mga ganyan nga nangyari?
Yes, also because ang career ko nga is live events, 'di ba? And shoots, TV shoots, ganyan. So it required me to be physically there. Eh, yun yung pinakaunang majorly na nag-suffer also during the time. So yes, I did lose a job that I'd had for almost 7-8 years at the time, which was shopping. I lost that during the pandemic.
So nag-stop na? They stopped the O Shopping channel, or what happened?
Yeah, they did. They did completely. In the beginning, they tried pa, diba? It was because, ABS was also cut out. So, diba, I lost jobs there also. And then O Shopping tried to do it independently but couldn't. So they also closed it down mga June or July of last year. And then, of course, live event hostings, all the gigs that were booked, wala, canceled. And I was also renting at the time. So I had so much fear. I was like, where am I? Buti na lang nakapag-save ako. Diba?
Yeah.
Buti lang Ilocana yung lola ko. So natuto ako mag-save. So nagkaroon din naman ako ng safety net last year. But, I had to adjust talent fees significantly because thankfully, there were still hosting gigs nung medyo nakapag-adjust na tayo.
So virtual?
Yes, virtually. Gigs. So yun naman, I had to invest in yun. I had to invest in a camera. I had to invest in lights. Slowly building a home studio.
That was only last year that you built your home studio.
Legit studio. But yun nga also luckily, I already had a camera before because I also tried vlogging. I already had a microphone because I was already podcasting in 2018. I had lights. Parang dinagdagan ko na lang siya last year.
Okay. Yes, parang similar din for me na I already had a camera because I was already vlogging. I was doing house tours already. But I was doing the editing myself. So, hindi masyadong maganda kasi distrad ko yung editing. So, I was just using like iMovie, yung mga Filmora, yung mga easy like drag and drop lang talaga. But it was last year when we decided, okay, we're gonna get serious with the vlog. So we really hired someone to do the editing, to also shoot the home tours na. So it's not just me na shooting the videos. And then we bought, so meron ng camera, so we just bought additional lights kasi need talaga yung lights pag home studio, diba?
Oh yeah.
Mga ambient lights, tapos LED lights, and then a new tripod. So, ang dami naming binili last year. Even until now. So, we bought a drone. So, all those things. Yeah, kasi real estate kasi I'm a real estate broker. So, I need a drone for yung mga shoots sa property, and then especially if yung area ng property is like hectares. So, hindi ma-appreciate if you just use a regular camera. So, we use the drone almost every week. So, gamit talaga siya. So, sulit naman kasi I
Solid.
use it
Balik
for
ROI na.
ROI na yung ginasto namin sa, ROI na sa closed deals pa lang through the vlog. Kasi I get a
Wow!
lot of inquiries sa YouTube channel ko. Kasi yung YouTube talaga, it's a very good marketing tool because it's also a search engine. So when they type
Yeah.
Cagayan de Oro house for sale or something, ako talaga yung lumalabas or at least one of the top 5 na lumalabas sa
Galing!
sa search engine because of I guess the volume of videos then that I post.
Yeah. Great job!
Thank you, thank you. So but I wouldn't be able to do it without a team. So yung husband ko, he was really the one who pushed me to take vlogging seriously. So he's my tech guy. He's the one who does the research of everything that we need to buy. And si
Galing!
Kirby, he's my editor. Ang galing din yung mag-edit. Like when I want something, ganito, yung gusto kong ganitong effects and then siya na bahala. So there's really a team behind the production. It's not easy. Para kung nag-media agad last year, hindi pala madaling mag-media. Yung preparation that's behind the scenes, they only see the finished product na parang nagsasalita ka lang. But yung preparation beforehand, tsaka yung editing afterwards, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Kaya believe din ako sa mga vloggers who just do it all themselves and edit everything
Hindi ko kaya yun.
themselves.
And I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Kasi
It's really different.
time-consuming, no? Like, but I think most vloggers naman now, especially those that already have a huge following, they have editors na.
Yeah. They do. But one experience in relation to what you were talking about, though, it's really hard to parang bigla kang naging one-man team, di ba?
Oo.
I experienced it last year
To start.
because I live alone, right? I'm in a condo, especially during the pandemic. I was really alone. And then the first hosting job that I kept taking on was because I was working with O Shopping. Was selling stuff online on an app called Kumu. So they would sell me products downstairs.
I just downloaded a Kumu app like last month lang and ang dami palang nagla-live selling doon, ano?
Oh, and it's actually also fairly new ang live selling sa Kumu, which is something I will be exploring eventually because it's something I can do remotely. But yun nga, may nagpapadala sa akin ng vase, may nagpapadala sa akin ng Christmas lights pa nung panahon na yun, ng malalaki, parol, ganyan.
So what are
I
you
would
supposed
go
to
downstairs.
do? You're supposed to sell that?
Yeah, so I would go downstairs with my cart, pick up everything, go back upstairs, do my makeup, set up my lights, my camera, everything, set up a table with all of these products showing, and then live sell, blah, 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 oh, this is ganito, ganyan. And then after, bring back all the stuff, pack everything, take down the lights, take off my makeup, redo my house, ganon. That was 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh. Even now, kasi we live in a 2-bedroom house. That's why we're planning to transfer end of this year. Kasi we have a 2-year-old now, and before it was okay with us yung size ng house kasi ang daling linisin and all, para lang siyang condo. I think this is around 55 square meters or something. Pero ngayon na we have a baby, parang ang dami niyang gamit, and then the second bedroom we converted it into a studio, and sometimes my mom comes to stay with us kasi wala kaming yaya, so it's just the 2 of us, so we just really use the master bedroom. Yung extra bedroom, we converted it into a studio. But because yung mom ko, sometimes she visits from Iligan, which is about a 2-hour drive to CDO. So we have to we keep on having to keep the setup, tapos set up again. It's so time-consuming to do that. So yung gusto ko talaga, once we transfer, I have a studio na studio lang talaga. Kasi ang hirap mag-set up, tapos ibabalik mo ulit.
Mismo. Yun yung number 1 na pinagawa ko dun, pinarenovate namin yung house na lilipatan ko next month. Meron na talaga akong studio.
Give me a tour sa studio mo. Excited na ako. Kasi we're planning to transfer din around October, I think October, November, around that this year. So excited. Gusto ko talaga ipa-interior yung studio. Kahit yung studio lang. Kasi I have a friend who's an architect, tsaka gustong-gusto ko talaga yung taste niya when it comes to decorating. She does interior din kasi sa mga houses or condos niya that she's doing or renovating. So I love her taste, kaya we're planning to get her to do just the studio. Okay na yung rest of the house. Yung studio lang talaga dapat maganda.
Priorities. #priorities. I love it.
Priority yung studio. Sige, I'm excited na to see your new studio.
Yay, me too. I'm so excited. Yun yung priorities, walk-in closet, tsaka studio.
Oo nga, no? Dalawa lang.
Yeah.
So sa podcast, I'm so curious, how do you earn sa podcast? Kaya 'di ba sa YouTube you have sponsors and you have yung ano, when it's monetized, so you can earn from Google. So how do you monetize sa podcast? Kasi bago lang ako na podcaster, I just have a couple of episodes. And tininan ko yung podcast mo, ang dami-dami mo ng pinost na episodes.
Sponsors then. People are actually looking more and more, brands are looking more and more into investing in podcasts because it's still fairly a fresh thing, I guess you could say it, but it's also
it's
really
very-
growing, especially here in the Philippines.
Parang
Luckily
last year siya nauso.
well,
podcasting.
kind of before that, yes, but syempre nag-grow last year because
Or
of
nag-boom
the
siya last year.
pandemic.
Because of the
Yeah.
pandemic, yeah.
Exactly. And one thing that I'm also thankful about that is because right smack in the middle of the pandemic, I was able to join a network of podcasters, a Podcast Network Asia, in the middle of last year. So una, 2018 until like early last year, I was doing everything like producing, editing, the posting. I used to pay pa monthly to be able to post 4 episodes on the podcast. And then I joined Podcast Network Asia. I just really want to shout them out another time because they've been such a huge blessing in terms of eventually making money out of podcasting and also being a venue to kasi
So how
ano rin
does
sila.
it work, yung partnership niyo or yung organization?
So they manage me, and then I have a producer. So later you're gonna meet her. Her name is Nikay. So sila yung nag-aayos lahat, StreamYard links, everything. They also edit the audio. So sometimes I just record myself, or sometimes they're there and then they edit the audio. And then it's nice because I really wanted to get in on it kasi meron silang thing na, di ba? We have trailers per podcast.
Yeah.
So for every podcaster, and now they actually just came out. There was an article I think a couple of days ago. That they're the biggest now podcast network in Asia. They have over 150 podcasters signed with them. But when I signed with them, I think there were just like 30?
Really?
Less than 30 last year. So sobrang nag-boom talaga. And yun, so they have a marketing team that actively look for the right brands for you. So whatever podcast you are, maghahanap sila ng perfect brands.
So it's kind of like ABS-CBN pero podcast version, I guess.
I guess,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, parang management
a
mo na
network
rin.
for podcasting. Kasi they also manage yun na, di ba? Aside from editing, parang merong management element.
For podcasts. Only for podcasts.
For podcasts, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
So-
they also get mga postings, ganyan. Basta generally getting brands.
Okay. Ang laking business na ng podcasting, no? Which I noticed na it really boomed last year and suddenly there were more newer podcasters. Last year pa, even before the pandemic, I really wanted to start na my own podcast. Pero yung inuna ko lang talaga yung YouTube channel ko. Kasi it's my main platform. Tapos next is the podcast, and then of course yung other social media. Hindi naman pwede mawala yung ibang social media na mga platforms.
It's nice that you branched out. It's something that our generation also has to consider now. Kasi medyo, ewan ko with you but I was kind of hesitant still, even until, late last year or last year and 2 years before that. To do TikTok, Kumu,
Really?
YouTube, mga ganyan, yeah.
No, for me, I was pretty open because I think because of my job, because I'm in sales, I'm a real estate broker, so I have to be everywhere because you don't know where the leads will come from. And I also
Right.
listen to, I'm not sure if you're familiar, si Gary Vaynerchuk.
VEE,
So
yeah.
Yeah, Gary V. I listened to him a lot, and it was because I kept on listening to him that I was pushed to really start my YouTube channel. That was, I think, 3 years ago pa. Because he said one thing that really stuck with me. He said that no matter how well you're doing in your industry today, you will become irrelevant if you're not on video or audio or all of these social media platforms. So
Yes.
parang ako naman, I don't want to become irrelevant 10 years down the road, diba? Even though I'm doing okay now, I could do better. And it's true, like when I started my YouTube channel, even though I had like 400 plus siguro subscribers at the time, I was already able to close a 10 million deal because of YouTube. The client came from YouTube. So it's really a very effective way to to market yourself because the clients trust you na eh. Meron ng rapport compared to if I just that's what I noticed at least. Like the leads that I get from YouTube, they're more they trust me more compared to if they got it from kasi I also do like mga ads on mga real estate ads. So when I get inquiries from ads or from Facebook, parang they're more guarded siguro compared to if I got the lead from YouTube. They're more open and they feel like they know me na kasi because of the videos that are out there that they've already watched.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because it's, I guess, same concept now when you watch someone on TV. You see their face, they suddenly feel so familiar about when you see an artista or whatever in person. It's like, wait, I know everything about you, but I don't know you.
Yes, parang ganyan. So what are your future plans now that you're still continuing hosting and now you've added podcasting? So what are your future plans career-wise?
Well, things are kind of starting to get back to normal-ish. I've been hosting in studios now. Live events are slowly creeping in, which is wonderful. But also, I'm really exploring other online hosting platforms that I can do, and like podcasting. And also
app, how often do you do
Kalamansi. I actually signed a contract with them. Yesterday was my last with them. I don't know if they're still gonna renew me, but that's something I also explored because it's online and it's something I brought with me to Davao, where my husband is from and where I will eventually be moving to.
Really? You'll be moving to Davao? We're actually planning to go there this September because a developer invited us to their launching. Baka nandun ka, magkita tayo.
Baka, let's see, maybe, probably, last week of August or first week of September. Let's see. I might actually, which is why I'm moving to the house, is so I can stay in Mati is where he is from. Stay in Mati 3-4 months at a time. Oh, yes. My gosh. I cannot wait to show you photos later. I'll come and tell you more about it.
Sige. Kasi the developer launch, the name of the developer is We Communities Inc. So they just launched a project in Cagayan, and then so that's why I was able to meet their executives because they flew in for the launching, and I also interviewed them for the home show, and then they invited me to their launch in Davao, which will be at the end of September. I think it's about September 27. So baka nandun ka na, sige.
Baka Davao City.
Yeah, Davao City.
Okay. Well, Mati is a 3-hour drive, but oh my God, when you're there, please, I will invite you. So my husband, they have a resort. It's called Bahia Resort. Later, I'll show you some photos. Oh my God, when you're there, please go, please.
It's okay if it's a 3-hour drive because you were bringing a car, so we can definitely go wherever.
Super worth it.
Sige, para ma-schedule. Baka ma-schedule natin. I'm so excited. Kasi we're planning to go a bit earlier. Siguro we'll be staying there for about a week, like maybe or 5 to 6 days kasi we want to check out yung mga projects ng developer na yan. So aside from attending the launching, we will be checking out other developments in Davao kasi we want to expand.
You should check it out. You should check out the real estate the situation in Mati also because they're booming. So yeah, sige, let's talk about that.
Sige, let's talk about that later.
Yes.
PM na lang tayo. Sige, so future plans. So
future plans,
online na. So if you'll be moving to Davao, how will you be hosting na in Manila? Will you be flying back and forth or will you be moving online?
Well, that's the idea because I'm in my 30s. I also want to start a family na rin. And the reality of that is, although LDR has kind of been working for the both of us because he has his work there, I have my work here. I'm really going to have to be with my husband eventually.
You should.
So that's the plan. So I'll be staying there with him, start a family and then build something there. Build an empire there. Build something there with my husband.
You should.
That's the goal.
I don't know what the scene is media-wise or like with the vloggers there in Davao. Because I joined, I was able to join parang training or parang boot camp called, it was by Naz Academy because I entered this contest and was able to join like the top 100 content creators for Naz. And most of the content creators in the Philippines, it was open to Malaysian, Singaporean. So there were also Malaysian, Singaporeans in the parang class parang class ito, storytelling class. And in the Philippines, most of the content creators were from Manila. And there were there were also several from Cebu. And ako lang from Cagayan. So one only from Cagayan and parang a few din from Davao. So most talaga Manila, Cebu, and a couple lang from Davao. So parang I think yung vlogging scene, I guess, in Davao is not, hindi pa masyadong maraming vloggers there compared to, of course, Manila, kasi Manila madami na talaga.
Oo. So, I guess bigger opportunities also,
Yeah,
di ba?
oo.
Yeah. So yun, my plan is to hopefully get a lot of work online. I also started building my studio there in our house there in Mati. So that I can still work there. And then if there are bigger projects, then I'll fly back to Manila for that project.
Okay.
Ganon. But Mati will be my base soon.
That's so
Hopefully.
exciting. So, will you be living on a resort or something? Kasi you mentioned your husband has a resort. Is
In
that
a
his full-time work?
farm.
Farm? Ang ganda.
No, they're from a political family and they're also business and landowners in Mati. So yes, they do have a resort, but also they have an actual farm, girl. As in paggising mo, may mga kabayo, may mga
Oh my
sheep.
gosh, ang
Ganon.
ganda.
But all these noises though. So every time I would record a podcast there, and I would naririnig no. I need to build a small box.
Ano na lang, make a soundproof studio.
Exactly.
Parang kasi yun yung plano ko for my studio kasi sometimes also when I'm vlogging, sometimes iiyak yung baby ko sa labas and I have to redo it again. So,
Yeah.
kailangan talaga soundproof.
Exactly. Meron naman nabibili ng mga foam thing eh.
Yeah, oo.
Yeah, my friend actually did that. Someone I met here, she's a voice actress. What's this? So what she did in her tiny condo, right? She just bought these foams, diba, that you see in studios that they put on the walls. So meron siyang maliit na makeshift box, tas nakaganon lang sa microphone niya. So pag nagre-record siya, as in ganito lang kaliit. Blah, 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 blah. Galing. So cool.
Oo, yung iba nga sa closet, di ba? They're inside their walk-in closet with all their clothes around them. And then, merong, if you really want to go hardcore, parang may thick na blanket and you put it over your head with your microphone in front of you.
Yep.
That's one hack na Naz Academy taught us. Like, if you're doing voiceover and you're outside,
On-site,
you're not in your studio, so yung thick blanket, yun na yun.
Yep. Yeah.
Mga hacks. I'm so excited sa new life together. Married life is fun.
I'm sure. I guess we're both still in a weird phase because, since we got married, the longest we were actually together was probably
year,
4
diba?
months.
You only got married last year. I saw your wedding video.
Yeah.
Virtual wedding.
Last year lang, December. That's their resort. Yes, virtual wedding. That it was a tough choice on my end because they're from there, so he has more family and friends there for the wedding. I had no one. All my family and friends couldn't fly because of the pandemic. So we did a Zoom wedding, and then when we flew back to Manila, we had a little parang reception with my side of the family naman and some of his friends and family here.
Why did you decide to get married during the pandemic?
Because it's cheaper. No, but really, let's be real. Diba? It was come on.
Tapos kung meron kang hindi ma-invite, they won't get mad or they won't get na hindi sila na-invite kasi pandemic eh.
Mismo.
May excuse ka.
Tama. At saka parang I feel like all the other extra fluff was shaved off because we really just focused on what we really truly wanted, diba, for our wedding. Usually kasi big weddings, I feel like, this is just my opinion ha. Of course, weddings are a big, institution.
Yeah.
Diba? Institution na siya eh. But for me, I think it's more, lalo na huge weddings are made more for the families than that couple. Kasi diba, you invite the friends o kapatid o ninong ang barkada na ganito ni mami, ganyan, diba, pinsan ng pinakapatid.
It's not about the couple na, but it's about other people or the relatives.
When we started planning it nga, syempre may mga friends. Si Pao, for example, yung husband ko, was like, newly dating lang yung sila. Tapos, can I bring my date or my girlfriend, ganyan. Tapos ako talaga in my head, di ko pa nga siya nakikilala, pakakainin ko siya.
Yung plus one.
Hindi ko pa siya nakikilala. Makikicry-cry siya sa wedding na, no. But yun, I think it was because we were already engaged and we were like, our wedding was supposed to be March 4, 2021, which was like 4, 3, 2, 1, kapaw. Yun pa nga yung hashtag namin eh. But we were like, you know what? I know we're gonna get married anyway. Things are gonna be a lot cheaper. We don't know when this is going to end.
Yeah.
Diba? So we might as well do it. And my dream was really to get married at the beach.
Oo, it looks so chill. I mean, yung setup nyo. So chill and simple and elegant, and then beach pa yung background. Parang yung beach pa lang, yun na yung decor mo.
Yup, sabi ko nga, tsaka gusto ko talaga, sabi ko, no matter what, I'm gonna walk down that because it's a beautiful bridge eh. That's the thing, parang thing yun ng resort nila, the Bahia Bridge. So it's like, I'm gonna walk down that bridge no matter what, kahit manggaling ako sa tubig. Wala akong pakialam. Kasi bridge and then water, di ba? And then nasa shore, syempre, yung nasa shoreline yung ceremony. So thankfully, nagawa naman ng paraan to kind of cover me from the bridge. Pero nag-high tide na. And I kept saying it kasi nga I had no coordinator whatsoever, nothing. I did everything. My husband and I did everything ourselves. And also, I was so OC. But may mga nag-a-assist naman. So I was like, guys, 4 p.m. mag-high tide ha. So lagyan niyo ako ng apple box pababa ng bridge. Nakalimutan nilang maglagay ng apple box. So, ang ganda-ganda. Nag-walk down ako ng bridge. Tapos biglang high tide na yung tubig. So, hindi ako makababa. Tumalon ako, girl. Ipopost ko nga yung pictures na yun mamaya. I was looking at it kanina.
You have to show me how you did it.
I jumped. I was like, la 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 la. Ay, oh no. Jump. Tapos lakad-lakad ulit. Pa-girl, ganyan.
So, nakita sa video, who was your videographer?
They're from Mati, actually. They're called Mindscape Events and Videos. I was also hesitant in the beginning to get them.
Is it out na ba, your wedding video?
Yeah! I haven't posted it yet.
Sige. Gusto kong tingnan.
Yes! Sige. Post ko na nga today. Charot!
Sige.
Dahil kay Alex, post ko today.
I love wedding videos.
I posted our prenup on my Facebook page yesterday or the other day.
Sige, hindi ko nakita. Yung nakita ko yung wedding photos mo lang.
Yeah. Sige, popost ko para sa'yo. But yeah, non-negotiable ko yan. Non-negotiable ko yung photo video. Sabi ko talaga, okay na ako magtipid sa lahat kasi nga pandemic, whatever. I'll tipid everything else. Photo video, I will not make it tipid. And we already talked to a different, kasi neighbors namin dito sa condo, ang tree house. And I really, really love their work because they also did the videos of a couple of my friends. They're so wonderful. They're so great. But, it was also kind of over budget if we were going to fly them pa. Plus pandemya. So, hindi ko na rin sila ma-fly. So, my husband luckily found someone really good. I was like, una, ano pa ako talaga eh. OC ko, as in, ginawang ko pa I was the one who made everything. Concept, list. Sundin nyo lang to. Ganon. Ito yung story. Ito yung script. Ito yung gusto ko. Sunset, sunrise. Ako gumawa lahat. Buong itinerary. Tapos I met them and then they did the prenup pa lang. I fell in love with their work. And I was like, pagdating sa wedding video, kayo na bahala. Kayo na bahala mag-put together niya.
You trusted them na sa wedding, with the wedding video. Versus so the prenup na you were so OC with everything.
Yes! That's my weakness. I'm such a control freak. But when I let go, ayan na. Ang galing. Ang ganda-ganda ng videos. I'm so excited to show you the wedding video. Every time we fight, I look at it. Mahal nga pala kita.
Mahal pala kita. How long were you together before you got married?
How long were we together? 2 years? 2 years.
Okay na yan.
Everything happened so fast with us, I swear. We were together maybe 6 months before we decided to live together. So I think the living in together really, allowed us to get to get to know each other and prepare us for the next step.
So that was in Manila?
In Manila. Here, in the condo. We actually lived in together here.
But he was based in Davao, or he also has business in Manila?
When I met him, he was still in Manila. But his father's side of the family is the one who's from Mati, from Davao. So we lived together for a year, close to a year. Kasi nga 6 months pa lang kami nung nag-live-in kami,
diba? But you
diba?
felt na even though you were together for just 6 months, you felt na this could be the one.
Yeah.
Kasi parang malalaman mo kasi even with my husband, I already felt that even though bago ka lang kami, just a few months, like siguro mga 1 month or 2 months, feeling ko, I think he's I believe he's the one. Kasi
Totoo!
you just feel it. You don't need like a really long time to know. You just know.
That's so true. Ang dami magsasabi ng sana all, 'di ba? Pero totoo eh. I've been in a lot of weird relationships before, which I'm all grateful for them. I tell them that. I'm grateful for you kasi na-realize ko, meron palang mas okay. Meron palang ganitong lalaki.
Parang,
Pwede naman
that's a
pala.
backhanded compliment.
It is. It's so funny, but yeah, I knew, and of course, at first, my mom, she's very open and liberal and everything. But I guess Pinay, diba, Pilipina pa rin, daughter pa rin ako. So she still had an issue with that in the beginning, with me living in with my boyfriend.
Oh yeah, did you
diba?
ask your parents for permission? O hindi na? Sinabi mo na lang? Nag-inform
My
ka
setup.
na lang?
Parang nagpaalam ako, di ako nagpaalam. Because I wasn't living with my mother na talaga for years. She was the one who moved out of the house. So technically, I was already living in our old house, paying for everything. Electricity, not rent, of course, and all those. So I already kind of knew how to, live alone and whatnot, ganyan. So when I had moved out of the house, sinabi ko na lang sa nanay ko, Ma, I'm moving out. I didn't tell her first that I was gonna be moving in with my boyfriend. But I told her, so the first time she visited here, syempre dalawa yung closet. His and hers. Syempre medyo ganyan. So, bakit ganito? So, because si Pa will be staying here twice a week para may kasama ako. Ganun pa. Slowly moving in. I'm sure alam na ng nanay ko yun at the time. Of course, she was kind of like, are you sure na ba that you wanna... Those were her worries lang naman. Not the, anong sasabihin nila? Hindi ganon. Diba? Her worries were, are you sure you wanna be with this guy? Because living in together is a huge step.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment.
It was. But I was like, and, we really stuck with it. I was like, I think, dahil pumayag naman ako to see him every single day, parang sure naman na ako, Ma. Sure na ako. And super blessing for us, honestly, yung living together first and jumping into that. Because now, parang, kaya nga pag tinatanong, what's married life like? Like, I've already experienced him day in and day out for
It's
a year.
actually very similar to like boyfriend-girlfriend stage, except that you're now living together, like at least for me. Parang nag-change lang siya lahat when we had a baby. Naging different talaga yung dynamics ng married life with Rain. Pero prior to that, it was super easy, like for us, super easy and chill. Parang hindi kasi kami maaway eh. We don't really fight a lot. Sometimes we have a little conflict lang, pero nagiging okay naman like a few hours lang after. Pero nag-change talaga yung dynamics with the baby. So, ikaw na sunod.
Gusto ko na. I'm so ready.
Pero masaya
if
siya.
the situation permits.
Masaya
I'm
siya
sure.
with the baby. Kasi may enjoy niya talaga. Especially with us, now we're at home. Because of our business, we're home most of the time. Because we're able to do things online. We're able to manage the business online. So, kami talaga yung hands-on kang Rain. So, it's a big blessing na you're just there. We don't have a corporate job that really takes you out of the house, 9 to 5. So, I think with you guys, it's gonna be okay din. Kasi mas flexible yung time nyo. Kasi you're a freelancer, he's a businessman, so you can like move your time around yourselves.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Parang
excited.
naging love life na yung topic natin.
True. Ano ba pinag-uusapan natin kanina?
Ano yun? Content creation. Yung isang question ko pala, why don't you try YouTube na maging serious ka with YouTube? Or is that, what path do you want to take with regards to your career? Aside from being an online host and with podcasting, don't you want to explore YouTube? Ang ganda niya, girl. You should try it.
I should. I've been going back and forth with it for 3 years. My husband was also the one who really pushed me. As in, my first vlogging camera, siya pa yung bumili. As in, umuwi na lang siya. Sabi niya, please, mag-vlog ka na. Mag-commit ka na. Gawin mo na yan. So, I did.
Someone did that to me then. Like, not my husband at the time, pero yung friend ko, na she was super kulit na, you should start vlogging. And she hounded me every day for a week. Okay lang ka bumili ng camera. O, bilhin mo to. Then she would send me links to kasi sabi ko lang sa kanya, you know what, I want to try vlogging. And then after that, parang naging obsessed siya na mag-vlog ako. She was the one who shot my first 3 videos. So, siya yung naging cameraman. Oh, yeah, siya yung naging cameraman ko. Tapos, Yeah, first 6 videos pala kasi 3 this week, and then pagka next week we shot another 3 videos, and then yun na yung start kasi sometimes you just need someone to push
To
you.
push you, exactly.
So what
I
happened?
did. I tried going back and forth with it. Oh my gosh. And then I signed pa with a company who was editing my videos, which is why I actually have 2 YouTube channels. I don't know how to take the other one out. But there's one where I just post, yun nga yung camera that my husband bought for me sa mga travels namin. And I would edit it. For me, it was matrabaho. Maybe if I get someone, to edit for me and stuff.
Matrabaho.
Ang trabaho
You
niya.
should get an editor.
I
Kasi
should.
malaking help. Malaking help.
Siguro pag lumipat na ako dun sa pag medyo secure na wala na ako sa transition phase. Maybe push mo ko, Alex. Hindi ko alam kasi. And it's so awkward I don't know why. I don't know what it is. My job is literally being in front of the camera and hosting and talking. But when it comes to like me talking, being like, oh, blah, 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 like alone, hirap na hirap ako. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Tsaka yung, oh, we're here in the chuchuchu. Hindi ko siya kaya.
I think you should begin with deciding on what type of your channel will be. Like, what's your niche? Kasi yung niche ko is real estate talaga. And then I added business and finance later on. Kasi I also like talking about personal finance, how we love sharing about how we handle our finances, yung emergency fund, yung mga ganyan. So, yeah. But basically, it's real estate. So, yung siguro mga 70% sa channel ko, it's really about the work that I do as a real estate broker. So, I started with documenting. That's what I learned from Gary Vee. Like, document, don't create. So, in the beginning, I just documented what I did, what I was doing as a real estate broker. So, whenever I would go on a property tour with my client, I would just take a video of the house and then go home and edit it. So, it started with that. And then now, na meron akong editor, he takes twice as long to take video. So, I just leave him sa house. So, I do my spiel, I describe the house, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, so you do your thing na. So, he takes a video. So, usually it takes like an hour or sometimes 2 hours depending on the size of the house. So, yeah, so start is document muna. If it's hard for you pa to really create kasi you have to think about stuff na when you create na. At least so you can document what you're doing. Sa podcasting mo, di ba you already do podcasting? So post mo lang sa channel mo.
Yun nga eh. That's something I'm exploring now. All the videos that I've started, I just started recording and posting content from the actual video of, di ba? Kasi I do Kumu also. I stream it live on Kumu while I do the interviews. So nakaset up na rin lang ako and everything. Yun nga, I've been back and forth on that. I have all these beautiful videos in a drive. And just thinking about when I'm going to post them on YouTube. Am I even going to post them on YouTube?
You should post it on YouTube kasi lalaki yung reach mo. And lalaki yung reach mo and your influence as an influencer if you do YouTube. Iba kasi yung power sa YouTube eh. It's a search engine. So if they search hosts in Davao, for example, kasi you're moving na. So you will pop up.
Turuan mo nga ako, how do I do that? Naging lesson naman pala yung podcast mo. Kasi hindi ko maaral, hindi ko pa gamay ang YouTube. So I don't really know how it works. Like, how do you, meron pang iba, di ba? What title do you put so that you're the first one that comes up when they search it? Do you put tags and whatever?
That's SEO. Yeah, you should do everything. Like, you should choose a title that's searchable. That's called SEO, search engine optimization. So when they search it, they will find your video. So make it easy for people to find you, and that's through the thumbnails. Thumbnails also matter. So yung thumbnail, yung title, yung tags, so everything will.
You make your own thumbnails?
Yung editor ko na, siya na. Before I used to make my own thumbnails, pero mas magaling siya sa akin sa mga ganyan eh. So yung lahat ng elements na yan. Pero compared to the social media platforms that I use, yung YouTube talaga yung pinaka ma-effort. Kasi it takes so long para maglabas ka ng isang video, yung process flow behind it. Kasi you have to think of a concept, make the script, shoot the video, tsaka yung shooting the video pa, set up pa, yung makeup mo, tapos after that, yung editing and then posting. So with all the tags and the title and the thumbnail, so it's a
lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but I don't know, I love it. When you found love
That's
ko pala
great.
Yeah, yung content creation. I used to, I love writing kasi even before pa when I was a kid, I would always keep a journal. And then all throughout high school and college, I would write. I used to have a blog before, pero nawala na yung website kasi hindi na ako nagbayad ng hosting. So I used to, para siyang personal lang na diary ko yung blog. I would just write whatever I wanted to write about. So walang niche yung blog ko. So now na I've started doing YouTube, seriously, since last year, I realized na love ko pala yung content creation. I enjoy the process kahit na trabahoso talaga siya. And also yung afterwards, yung result, na-enjoy ko. Tsaka yung interviewing people din. It's one thing that I really enjoy doing because I learn so much from interviewing people. That's one thing that, yung reason why I love interviewing. Ikaw, ano yung experience mo? Like sa years mo, mas matagal pa yung career mo kaysa sa akin sa media eh. Bago lang ako sa career na to.
No, I've always loved, I guess, the thing I love about hosting is the energy that I get from the people that I talk to, whether it be 1,000 people watching or one person that I'm talking to. I love meeting new people. I love being able to create new relationships with them.
Yeah, same.
I love it eh. I think I've always been like that growing up. Yun nga, parang also in high school and college, Miss Congeniality yung tanong nila sa akin. Kasi
parang super
kahit saan mo ko
extrovert
itapon, actually, weirdly enough, hindi rin. Like, siguro ambivert. Like, there are times I love being alone, like in parties, I'll just be in the corner. But if you make me talk to a stranger, sure bol yan, 10 minutes later, close na kami, alam ko na yung history niya. Ganon. Like, it's something that I love digging into people's minds. Alam mo yun.
Similar tayo. I don't really enjoy being the center of the crowd. Like, for example, in a party, ang daming tao, and then nandun ako sa center. Usually, I'm just off in the corner talking to one person. Like, one or two. So, I prefer mga ganyan. Like, more intimate conversations to compare to a group. Kasi pag group na, yun na yung mga super extroverts eh.
Yep. I think yun nga eh. We just value genuine connections with people. Right? Which is why you're also doing what you're doing. You're doing podcasts. And which is why I love podcasts. I'm sure I'm going to grow into YouTube, which is something I've been saying to myself for 3 years.
You should. I'll give you a deadline,
Ay, wow! I love it. Kailangan ko yan.
Sige,
Kailangan ko ng push.
Sige. Ikaw yung mag-set ng deadline, tapos i-remind lang kita. So, ano yung deadline mo? To start, kasi you have your podcast now, so just start with that. Instead of thinking na I have to create so many types of contents. So, yung podcast mo, di ba may video naman kasi you're streaming sa Kumu. So, i-post mo lang sa YouTube mo. Yun lang.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Tapos, lagyan mo lang ng thumbnail tsaka yung appropriate na title.
Ay, hindi ako marunong
searchable.
thumbnail, ganyan. Sige nga.
Madali lang yan. Basta may big block letters, preferably not more than 4 words. Kasi yung long thumbnails, wala naman nagbabasa. So, it has to be big letters, tapos siguro mga 4 words max. So, may mga ganyan ng mga YouTube. Like, how to make your content searchable and clickable na when they see you, oh, maganda to. So, ganyan. Sige, what else do you want to, let's wrap this up kasi para matagal na yung chikahan natin.
Mini-message na ako kasi magre-record pa tayo sa podcast.
Oo,
mini-message ako ng producer ko, hello, magla-live na ba tayo? Hindi ba, wait lang. Tapos, nag-enjoy kami sa conversation.
Sige. So, ano yung gusto mong i-promote? How can people find you if they want a host in either Manila or Davao? Or baka pwede ka ding mag-host sa CDO?
Ay, wow! I love it. Why not? I love that. Well, hello everyone. And first and foremost, thank you so much, Alex, for having me on your podcast. It was such a pleasure. And so much joy being able to talk to you in this platform. And yes, my name is Cara Eriguel Rabat. You can find me on my socials at Cara Eriguel, Facebook. I have a Facebook page and also on Instagram and YouTube soon because of Alex. Sure. But also please check out my podcast as well. I'll be having Alex there very, very soon. It's called After 30 with Cara Eriguel, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Okay, thank you so much, Cara, for being with us today in this episode, and I'll see you guys again in the next episode. Bye!
Bye! Thank you!